Well, coasters, another beautiful coast day. It will sound funny to people around the world, but when we get 10 days like we're having at the present time, beautiful fine weather, it is just outstanding. Now, Coasters Club, about 30,000 members, around about 40,000 emails go out twice a week to those on our database, and you can join the database. Go into www.thecoastersclub.co.nz, put your email address in, and you're into it. And if you want to unsubscribe, just click that button as well. So our role is to link people from the coast together. Now, from the coast, let's expand on that. If you have a connection with the West Coast, if you had a grandparent that lived here, if you came through here in 1965 on your honeymoon, you've got a connection to the coast. And we want to hear from you, because what we're trying to do is ensure that you remain connected. Now, it's that connection thing that leads us into this, this next wee segment, where we've had a number of people from the coast contact us about being stuck offshore. Stuck because they can't beat the MIQ lottery system, and some for months. One lady's tried 11 times, and the last time she was number 27,000 on the list. 27,000 on the list. And so really having an impact health-wise. Now, we've been contacting a group that is trying to provide a voice for Kiwis offshore that are grounded. And the reason I have a particular interest is that I'm aware of a lot of New Zealanders that can't, they're in the fly-in, fly-out industry. They could be coal miners, they could be oil rig specialists, engineers, sparkies, and they're losing their jobs because the system, with its 2-week changing rules all the time, it's just not working. And the employers at the other end just can't put up with it. And they've got options. It's a very competitive world out there. So we've had about 50 emails in the last 48 hours from people spread around the world. And some of them don't want to be interviewed. They want their story told, but they don't want to be interviewed because perhaps they're shy, whatever, makes no difference. And here's one of those. My name, and I'm going to call her Sarah. She doesn't wish to be identified. She's from Northland. Last year, we decided to buy a house close to my parents, a small farm. And to achieve this, we sold our house in Australia and we planned our move back during the bubble. Pretty sensible in my view. Our plans were shattered when the bubble closed. And my 67-year-old dad is now caretaking our small farm while running his dairy farm of over 400 head of cattle. We're living in a caravan with our 2 small children, and we've been there since last September when our Australian property was settled. The reason I don't want to be interviewed is that the last time I put comments up, I got some terrible comments from people around New Zealand who either didn't want us home or didn't care. Kind regards, and we'll call her Sarah. You know, it's dreadful. Let me tell you, Sarah, for a kickoff, we do care. We do care. We care and we understand. Now, this pandemic has pretty much run its course. And so the quarantine will change. It'll have to change simply to keep up with the rest of the world. I don't hold great hopes that we'll be leading the charge, but there's one thing's for real, and that is that your story and your kid's story needs to be told to New Zealanders, because the power's with the people. So let's just say we care. We're going to get your message and all of these other people's messages out as wide and as far as we can, because it's not right. It's not right that you're in limbo. It's not right that people are losing their pensions because they're stuck in Australia. And they're stuck there because our government says you can't come home. It's not right that the New Zealand passport, which was once the passport that the world wanted, has lost that status. It was a passport that gave you the right to enter New Zealand and to exit New Zealand whenever you wanted to. It was the passport that was backed up by our Bill of Rights, which guaranteed you the same rights. Now, of course, there is the clause that says if government passes legislation in relation to a pandemic, those privileges can be suspended. Well, that suspension took place in 2020, 22 months ago. Now, it was all right for the first 3 months, perhaps even at a stretch, 6 months. But when this whole thing is over, and when they do an inquiry as to how it was developed, how the rules were followed, which rules were bent, which rules were broken, I think the outcome will be disappointing. But Sarah, we're looking after you. We're telling your story. Keep the chin up. And from the coast, have a great 2022. And we'll look forward to seeing you back in the country. We'll catch you later.